I've never put one on a W900L, and I happen to have a pair of W900Ls that need, guess what, Aero roof cap and extended cab. They're both day cabs, and it's just a matching set for a guy. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. Now, this was designed for T800, so all the dimensions were based off T800. And right away, you're going to notice, or you may not be able to see it there, but this is what we have. It's just a little bit wide at the front of the cab. So there's a little lip right here. I'm not worried about that because guess what? I can take a lip out. You know, with a little sandpaper, this is going to come right off. 2, here's where your visor is going to go. Now, this particular build, I'm going to use an aftermarket visor anyway, so this really won't inhibit anything that I'm doing. If you're going to reuse a stock visor, you may need to come in here with a file, either, I mean, after you have this glued in place, come in with a file and just take a small file or sandpaper and knock this lip back a little bit, round this edge off on both sides, and then you can reuse your stock visor. I'm going to go ahead and get some of my favorite CA glue in here. I'm being pretty generous with the glue. Why? Because I'm going to, I don't want this thing to come off. Ever. Even by accident. So we're just going to go ahead and glue this in place. Now, we're going to eyeball this to make sure that we've got it square on the cab. And to be quite honest with you, it may not be quite wide enough at the back of the cab. Okay, again, this is made for the DCP T800, not for the W9, but this is going to be, I mean, I think we can make this work for W9, even though this is probably a millimeter wider on both sides, maybe, than the actual roof cap I have. Okay, let's see here. Something's not happening I don't like. Something feels weird. Okay. Okay, so now I'm using my fingers just to hold everything together. We can count to 100 and let that glue dry. One thing I have noticed, and with using CA glue, is the more you use doesn't necessarily make it stronger, and I just poured a crap ton in here, defeating exactly what I'm saying. But it just takes forever to dry if you use very much. If you use a lot, sometimes less is more with this particular glue. Okay, this is accelerant. It is not, you know, meth. This is accelerant, which is what I have right here. All of these products I'm showing you are for sale in my store, by the way. If you need them, that's where they are. Easy to get to. Right, so we're just going to count to 10. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take a rag and wipe off any excess accelerant. I'm normally not that sloppy with accelerant. That's why I put it in the syringe, so you can just kind of meter it out. And just, it's beautiful and wonderful and awesome. Now, you'll notice, again, over on this side, we've got a huge A gap right here. And then we also have a gap right here. So in the real world, this piece would extend clear to the back of the cab, right? Well, we don't have that anymore. We have choices. One, we can use an exhaust and just kind of hook it underneath the cab, but then it's going to bump into your, I mean, you could hook it underneath there and that would work. And that would, you know, you could leave this open or you can fill this in. And we're going to get us some handy dandy electrical tape, just like so. Now watch this. We're just going to put that in there like so. Okay. Now we can fill this area in right here with body filler and it won't drip out the back side. Okay, let's do it again. That felt so nice. Let's do it twice. Right. Now, if we make a little bit of a mess, no worries. We got sandpaper. We can sand. We have files. We can take stuff off. I'm not too worried about that. May take you a little more time, but it's not the end of the world. Next, now we need to fill all this stuff in. We need to fill this stuff in right here. So what am I going to use? My wife bought this stuff right here for a project we're working on out in our driveway. We bought an old camper that she wants to rehab, and we needed to do some body work on it. So she bought Bondo. Now, do you have to use Bondo? Absolutely not. No, you don't. For many projects, I've used just good old-fashioned JB Quick because it stores really well, it's simple to use, doesn't put off a lot of extra fumes. I've used JB Quick. You can use Bondo body paste. I keep this on hand for little quickie things. That works. But for this project, I happen to have a whole bunch of this junk laying around, so guess what we're going to use? We're going to burn up what we have. Do I care if I cover up those exhaust holes? Not really. Because guess what? A drill will make short work of that. See what I mean? I mean, I've just got way more Bondo body. I have way more Bondo than I could use in 5 lifetimes on this thing. And it's okay. And I just closed up one exhaust hole. And you know what? It's okay. I have a drill. And drill that out will take, what, 35 seconds? Now, one thing I am going to do, I'm going to scrape this off of the back because we really don't need it there. So I just scraped it off. I bet I did that off camera. I'm just going to push that down in there. Uh-oh. So, one thing, you know, you got that hardener in there. If you've not messed with Bondo body paste, Bondo, not the body paste takes forever to dry. Bondo, like I have here, when you add that hardener to it, the clock starts, which means this stuff's going to get to a point where you can't work with it anymore because it's designed to get hard, right? And there's a really poor taste joke in there, right? Am I right, guys? Can I get an amen? Anyway. That's when my wife would roll her eyes, Eric. And then I'm going to try and get some across the top here without making a mess. See, I got that little gap right here at the front, right there. I want to try and fill that in. And get it all over the roof while I'm at it, as you can see. Okay. See, let's just get it all over the roof while we're at it. Sure. And I'm going to clean off my knife real quick. And watch this. We're going to go ahead and there. Scrape that off. Get it on my fingers maybe. That's cool. And then we're just... Here, let's get you in the middle of the camera. That way you're not looking at the bottom of your screen. Oh, it's already starting to get a little goofy. Okay, time to stop. Because that stuff's beginning to set up. From this point forward, you know, in a couple of hours, this will be, I think it'll be to a point where we can handle it. I'm not going to, I'm going to go ahead and do this one. But I don't think I'm going to mess with this. I've already been out here for 8 hours today. I got started out here, well, actually, I got started out here at 5:30 this morning. Anyways, I've been out here for quite a while, and I should probably go see my family and look like I'm one of the living. I really don't want to because this is so much fun. Yeah, this is way more fun than about anything else I might want to do today. But that all work and all fun and no play. That doesn't even make sense. I'd say it's all work, but this really isn't work. Anyways, long story short, we're going to let this chill. Anyway, so what we're going to do tonight is we're just going to go ahead and sand off the body filler off of one of these. And this will be a matched set. These are going to be triaxle heavy haul W900s, front floats, headache rack, triple axle, long fenders, and custom paint. I'm just going to use, this is just a file out of a box of stuff I've got, nothing fancy. What I want to do here is I just want to get the worst of this stuff off. And this is Bondo. And why did I use Bondo? Well, because I had Bondo left over from a project my wife was doing. So I'm just doing the rough filing here, okay? So we're just going to get the worst of this down. Now what I've got here is 60 grit sandpaper. Why do I have 60 grit? Because somewhere along the lines I ended up with a whole bunch of 60 grit. Okay, just roughing this out. That's all we're doing. We're just kind of getting the bulk of this off just to clean it up, make it look tidy. And then we'll go in with fine sandpaper and really get pretty. But right now, we just want to knock all the really bad edges off. Okay. So we're going to still rough sand. We're going to take a piece of 60 grit right here. Okay, I folded it. Then we're going to take a file and we're going to wrap this 60 grit around the file. We're going to stop there on that. Now, we also have this big whoops, sorry. I was well out of the shot. Sorry about that. I got this big goobery part right here. I think we could probably just use an X-Acto knife and just cut that off. Can we do that? Yes, we can. Perfect. That's what we want. Let's see if I can get you. Can you? No, you can't see that at all. Doggone it. Hang on. There, now you can see. All right. Perfect. Okay, we like that. So that was a big chunk. Now, if you remember from last time, I had tape inside of here. Okay, and the tape on the inside is just plain old electrical tape. You can see the curve left from that tape right there on the inside. This right here, there's a big gap right here, and I filled that in with Bondo. That way we didn't have to come in and fill it with like styrene or something like that. Again, lightly sanding, lightly. We're not going hard here. We just want to knock it down. We'll make it pretty in a moment. Okay. Now, we're going to take the 60 grit, park that over there, and then I have a piece of used 150. Oh, come here, you joker. Okay, gonna fold this in half, like so. Put our file in there, nice flat edge. Now, we'll go in and make everything gorgeous. Again, lightly sanding, lightly. Because once it's gone, it's gone. Okay, now, right here, let me get a pointer. Okay. There's going to be a cab line right here for your door, this die-cast outline for the door. I'd like to go in there and get that tidied up so we can see it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just use my file plane and cut me a little groove right there. And I'm going to start actually back here so I don't put that groove somewhere I don't want it. And if you think I'm really close to the mic, it's about 3 inches away from my mouth. Okay, we like that. We're good. Next. Okay, we're going to go ahead and now I've got my file kind of tilted right here, see? I don't know if you could see that very well in the shot, but it's not flat now. I'm kind of going at an angle so I can take just a little bit off of plastic. Okay. Actually, I think I need to take more off. That leading edge looks like it's sticking out too far. Okay, that might work for now. We're gonna let that chill. And then we're gonna continue. I can see visibly a couple of lines right there. Now, primer is gonna fill some of this in, but we do wanna, I'm not certain I'm real happy with this line right here. Right here, I think this will show up. Well, of course, exhaust is going to cover that too, so I guess I shouldn't get too carried away. I got to remember how the exhaust on this one goes. And I'd look, but the photo's on my phone, which I'm using to record. Okay. Okay, I think what we're going to do is we're just going to relax for a minute. I think we're just going to chill. Okay, I'm going to remove some of this Bondo across the top. Okay. Okay, I think I'm happy. Okay, we're just going to stop there on that. And then I'm going to flip my paper around. And now we're just going to go and work on this side here. Okay. Actually, I think the driver's side is looking like it's turning out just a little bit better than the passenger side thus far, but that's all right. We don't have to, we're not going to freak out yet. Happy. Okay. Again, we can always come back. You can always do more, but if you've taken off too much, you've just taken off too much. I'm actually kind of happy with that right there. I'm actually pretty happy with this. How long have we been at this? Let's see here. I can't tell how long we've been at this. Huh. So now what I'm going to do what I told you not to do in the beginning. I'm going to go ahead and with my thumb, I'm going to go with this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to soften up this line on the roof. We're just going to give it a little bit of roundedness. Roundedness, is that even a word? We're going to make this angle nice and soft. Now that sounds much more intelligent. Okay. And then we're going to do it over here. Like so. Yeah. Now this is 3D printed. And this is in a tough resin. And it does live up to its name. I mean, if you don't handle it well, yes, it'll break. It'll crunch, but you know, I'm sanding on this pretty good and it's holding up really, really well. So if you guys use the tough resin, I think you can, I mean, you can use it with confidence. It's just going to be a-okay. Okay. Now we're done with the first sanding. Why do I say the first? I'm going to tell you why in just a moment. All right. What I like to do as soon as I've got the first sanding done is go ahead and clean it and prime it. Okay? So that's what we're going to do here. And my camera's in the way, so this will be virtually impossible to get done successfully. Where's my tweezers? Oh my gosh, I got like 90 tweezers and I can't find a one of them. Okay. So this is what I do with all my parts. Before I prime, I just dip them in rubbing alcohol like so. And it does not affect the Bondo at all. If you're using Bondo body paste, that is a much softer, it doesn't cure good and hard like Bondo does, like the Bondo body filler does. So that is going to come out. So glazing and spot putty, you know, you got to be pretty gentle if you dip it in rubbing alcohol because you'll take it right up. However, this works really well. Okay. So now what I like to do is after I've got the first prime done, or excuse me, the first round of sanding done, where I think that I've got all my lines cleaned up and there's no nicks and gouges and weird stuff that you're going to see through the paint. Once I'm confident I've got that first round done, what I like to do is I go and prime it. And then the primer makes everything the same color, and then it illuminates all your body errors, all the work that you've done. So since we're doing just a small model, we can do this and no worries, right? And you know, I take a little heat because I just use good old-fashioned Krylon. I don't know, I just have luck with this primer, so I keep using it. Now I did shake this earlier because I primed something a little bit ago, and then I primed this hood and then shot color on this hood right here. So it's already shaken up. Need to sand this one more time with finer sandpaper and take out some of this. It's kind of coarse right through here. That's not bad. I do have a line right here where it kind of, which we can take out that'll be easy to take out because we'll just come in with sandpaper and just sand right here. And then this goofy line right here will go away. That won't really take too long. And then might take a knife and just clean this line out right here. So we'll clean that out. That's actually not bad. This is a-okay. I mean, overall, I'm pretty happy. And then again, like I was saying, right here, I could probably sand just a little bit more. If you remember, I put my file on edge just to kind of clean that out, and it's a little deep. I mean, from a few feet away, you're never going to see it, but if you get up close, you're going to see it. Then, of course, we need to go ahead and clean out this cab line right here. That's die cast. It'll just got to get the gunk out of it. But yeah, and then file this maybe right here. But before I do that, I'm going to check my photos and make sure that I don't have exhaust that's going to cover that. Because if I got exhaust that's covering it, well, what no one sees won't hurt them, right? And that'll just save you a few steps. Okay, so this is kind of what we started with right here. We have been at this for about 25 minutes, so it only took 25 minutes. We went ahead and knocked down the big chunks, knocked down the big bit of this, just kind of cleaned that up, got it ready, and then we used spritz. 60 grit, and then we used 150, and then we were in primer.